What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter, and a lot of people are always asking me about FBG. That's one of the top people I'm always asked about if it ain't Chief Keef or Glow Gang or a rapper who done lost their lives. You know, the culture loves to know about these things. So today we're going to talk about FBG CantGetRight. You probably know him as ManMan. We're going to take him to the board today and kind of explain the situations that led up to his death. I'm always getting edited a lot about FBG, and this is one of the top guys I'm always being asked about. I really can't tell you that much because I noticed he wasn't really a rapper. He was kind of young. He had the reputation of being a street enforcer, a gunman, a shooter. That's kind of like the character that the internet gave him. And he kind of played up on it too. We're going to give you some background on CantGetRight before we kind of get into his story. I noticed that he was real close friends with FBG. Okay, now with FBG, that consists of like Duck, Brick, and etc. Okay, he was also close friends with like KI and some of the original members. So a lot of people consider him an original FBG member, even though he wasn't in like the rap group and shit like that. When I did my research and I looked through all like the paperwork, the police documents, the Chicago Tribune, the Sun-Times, CBS local news stations, interviews, and all kind of shit, because I interviewed a lot of people that's in his camp, I realized that this guy was known as a shooter, okay? Now, once I got on the internet and looked up his name and a lot of shit, I seen he was involved in a lot of rumors. So it's a lot of rumors about him, about people that he shot and killed. Rumors about him. And it's shit on the internet that says he killed this person, he killed that person, he assisted with this body, he assisted with that body. I'm not here to come do that. Remember, I'm not the Facebook police. I wasn't there. I can't verify that kind of information if I don't really know 100%. You got to remember, on the internet, perception could turn into reality real quick. So you got to be careful of what you believe. I'm not saying he didn't do it, because it is a lot of rumors that say this brother was reckless on the street now. But I'm just saying, I ain't going to put it on the board if I can't verify it. Another thing I noticed is I seen him in a lot of interviews. Interviews with FBG Duck. He was holding a lot of guns in all those interviews. He always had guns in his hands and shit like that. That's another thing that I noticed with him. And I noticed that he was from a neighborhood that has a reputation of being very violent. He was from that STL neighborhood, that Taekwon Rural neighborhood, that Jarrow City neighborhood, and he was a GD. And he was very respected in his neighborhood. I seen them on the internet beefing with a lot of ops. You got to remember, he had a lot of ops too, off who he was and who his friends was in the community that he was in. So when I got to researching that shit, I said, yeah, this is another young man that got a reputation, I believe, off the internet, because I don't see his songs. I don't know him from the music that he makes. I know him from being in internet videos, and the more I seen them, I did research, and then you realize he was involved in a lot of crazy shit. But I noticed he was on the internet beefing a lot. He had a lot of internet beefs, okay? I beat a lot of internet beefs. I noticed that. But I'm not going to lie. This here, being from St. Lawrence, being around this area, kind of alerted me that he might have been real hot. You know, this neighborhood has lost a lot of people. A lot of people from this neighborhood has died, you know, over gang wars and gang beefs and shit like that. So we're going to kind of get into what happened, because what happened with him is a little different from every other one. Normally, a guy done got caught in the drive-by, somebody jumped out the car, BreakDown, caught in the party, all kind of shit. ManMan death, a.k.a. FBG CantGetRight, his death was a little different. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he died in 2018 at a store, okay? And I believe the store, if I'm not mistaken, was on 63rd and Vernon, okay? Right in his neighborhood. I noticed that. He died in his neighborhood at the local store, okay? When you watch the video, because this death actually was on the internet, people seen that two gunmen came running to that store with ManMan walking out of the store. It was also a guy who was sweeping the ground and cleaning up, picking up shit. Two people ran up on ManMan walking out the store and gunned him down. He was shot. ManMan was shot. He fell down. The gunman walked over him and shot him more. Okay? The person who was cleaning up the floor was killed too. I'm hearing he was an innocent bystander. An innocent bystander who was just cleaning up, working for that corner store. The ops came through, sprayed CantGetRight, and since he was next to him, they killed him too. Okay? A lot of internet laughing about this guy died. When he died, his death was on the internet. Okay? If you see that video, how they ran up on him and plop, 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 blick, 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 and then blick the other dude, blick, blick, and then walked over him, blick, 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 and then got up out of there. I come to the conclusion, right, that this guy was from this neighborhood. He was repping this set. He had a lot of ops. Okay, I seen them in interviews holding guns a lot. You know, it was rumors that he killed people and was around people. I don't know why the internet put those kind of videos out. I hear the rumors that he was a shooter. He was linked to a lot of people who lost their lives in a set of GDs that was known to be renegade as hell, okay? He died in his own community, a community that I don't think the ops want to walk through, all right? Unless they wanted to get you very hard, okay? Somebody stood over him and shot him, okay? Watched him come out of a store. I come to the conclusion that this guy had money on his head. Okay? And what I mean by money on his head, it don't necessarily have to be somebody's going to give you $1 million. Money on your head mean an acronym that you're going to be heavenly, heavenly, heavenly rewarded if you do something to this individual. Now, I can't give you the dollar amount. It's just most people say $1 million on the head, 100,000, 10K on the head. That just means you're going to get paid handsomely if you do something to him. I felt like this guy had money on his head, and if he didn't have money on his head, he was targeted, okay? He was targeted because of something that he did in the past, or he was targeted because he was around people who did something in the past. He was targeted because he was a rival gang member. But I understand that, but the way they killed him, stood over him, followed him, chased him down, I believe this guy was targeted and assassinated, okay? He was targeted and assassinated and preyed upon, like I say on the rest of them, okay? I'm not sure if he wasn't preyed upon for the right reasons, because this guy I heard was doing bad shit in the street. He was like one of those guys that didn't play that shit. He was a no-nonsense when it came to the ops. So I'm not just saying he was an innocent guy. And then I'm not saying that he wasn't an innocent guy. Who knows? The guy probably wasn't involved in that shit and just lost his life due to some other shit. Who knows? But when I do my homework, I realize that I believe this guy had money on his head because of how he died. He was targeted because they followed him in the store and stood over him. He was assassinated because the gunman didn't leave until he knew that he was dead. This don't look like no random ops just riding past. When a motherfucker get out of the car and run up on you, it's personal. It's personal. Now, I'm not sure what he done did or what his homeboys done did, but whoever did that felt like they needed to do that. Because you ask me, you kill somebody, stand up on or run up on them and all kind of shit like that, it's personal. So in my opinion, I believe he had money on his head. He was targeted. He was assassinated. I believe that his neighborhood that he from did bad things to other people's neighborhoods, and they got back with him. But I think this was a case of the ops caught him. And me personally, another thing that I think too, you know, I think this is what happened too. I think when you get the assassinated, preyed upon, okay, he was targeted, okay, all right, he was targeted, okay, let me get something to wipe that off. He was preyed upon, he was targeted, and all that shit, right? So that leads me to believe my end of conclusion that this young man was caught lacking in his own neighborhood. Sad too, man, because I see a lot of shit like that happen too. You think you're safe in those neighborhoods, but you don't realize a lot of those songs that got popular been screaming out the name of your block and everybody know where you at. I don't find it mistakenly that he was killed in his neighborhood. Brick was killed in his neighborhood. FBG Kobe was killed in the neighborhood that he was from, that he used to represent. K.I. was killed in her neighborhood. I don't find that surprising. I think these guys had money on their head and it was still in that neighborhood, and I think CantGetRight ended up getting caught lacking. But I appreciate the love. Leave me a comment. Let me know who I should do next. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. leave me a like on the video. When you do that, it make my videos grow and a lot of people be able to see them. Remember, keep your donations to yourself. I don't need none from you. The weather changing. You need to take care of yourself. It's a pandemic out here. You ain't got time to be giving me anything, so keep your donations to yourself. And I be seeing a lot of people saying, True, go on, ask for the donations. We want to look out for you. I don't want no damn donations. Keep them shits to yourself.